Goody, episode 2, and you notice I'm not in the garden. However, I am in my truck, and this is one of the only few times during the day that I have some alone time. Well, normally I have the opportunity to gather some thoughts in the morning when I'm going to school, because I teach and I coach, and I got into the teaching and coaching profession late in my career, but it's been the most rewarding thing I've done with my life because I enjoy being around students. They keep me mentally young, and sometimes they frustrate me, and sometimes they just build me up, and I learn from them and they learn from me. So I want to talk about gardening with Goody. It's not about gardening, or it's not just about gardening. It's about life. And so my son and I had just had a blast this past weekend creating a video about these wicking buckets. Well, he wanted to start the channel, and so what do dads do for their kids? Sometimes they work on providing those things. So for me, it was really cool, and I think for him it was really cool, and I think he really enjoyed it. But here's the deal. I want to be a dad that is around his kids, that wants to be a motivator, somebody that points them in the right direction. And I've always believed as a Christian that the mission field begins in the home. Now, the mission field, I also believe, is where you put your feet. And so at the same time, my job as a parent is not to just discipline and reward my kids, but it's to point them in the right direction, to guide them like a tutor. And part of that is, reminding them that, hey, we got to act like human beings. This morning I told Trip, my son, I said, hey, dude, have a great day, but also act like a human being today. Do what you're supposed to do. Get your work done. Have fun. Stay out of trouble. And he's not a kid that normally just goes out and gets in trouble. But it's the reminders. It's the little things. Tell them I love them every day. And that's the part of the deal. I've got 4 girls. I've got 1 boy. And I would not change that for the world. A verse that really has been on my mind lately is 2 Corinthians 5:21. And it says, for God made him who knew no sin to be sin on our behalf, so that we might become the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus. And that verse has really been a life changer for me, namely because it helps me identify who I am and a reminder about who I am. And it literally just says a truth about us. And Paul was writing to the church of Corinth when he said this in his letter. And just a reminder to them that, nothing you can do in your righteousness, no good that you can do, no amount of law that you can follow is going to save you. Because righteousness doesn't come from the law. Righteousness comes from Christ alone and his representation of us, in us, through us. And we have to identify with that. And I'm telling you, when I had that verse shared with me for the first time, it planted a seed within me, and the fruit of the Spirit began to grow inside me to help me realize, there's a lot of junk that I deal with. There's a lot of things that I do that is shameful, I'm embarrassed about, but also it's a reminder that I am not myself. I am in Christ. I am who he is in me, and I have to identify with that. And I'm not married to this old flesh anymore. I'm not married to it. but I'm married to the Spirit and one with the Spirit and walking in Him and in Him alone. So He is the driving force within me. I say this all the time. I want to be Jesus with skin to people, and sounds like a really tough task, because it is. And I've asked for God just to be that through me, and so I really look forward to continue making some videos, and look for one coming up this next week here as we continue to work on those wicking buckets. There's more that we got to do, and I think it'll just be a fun process for me and Trip to go through. And I really appreciate those of you who have already subscribed and are ready to continue the journey.